Step into the moment, let yourself free now. All you need is loving, you find your way. All you need is a little bit of love inside of you. Carry it like a light, I say. And this love will carry you through. All you need is love, love, love. All you need is love, love. All you need is love, love, love. All you need is love, love. All you need is love, love. All you need is love. All you need is love. So lay down your worries. Just take the time to stay with me. If you just breathe for a moment, then let go and release. I don't know what I know. All I know is you need a bit of love to get through. I don't know what I know. All I know is you need a bit of love to get through. I don't know what I know. All I know is you need a bit of love to get through. I don't know what I know. All I know is you need a bit of love to make it through. I don't know what I know. All I know is you need a bit of love to get through. I don't know what I know. All I know is you need a bit of love to get through. All you need is
Good morning. Great to have you here. I think it's a beautiful day. This is a church that's built on covenant, not creed. We gather around some values that we think are essential: justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. Treating one another respectfully, even when we have different paths and opinions, is the way that we think we should move through the world and try to promote that kind of understanding as best we can. So whoever you are, whatever your age, race, origin, orientation, background, status, ability, identity, if you care to be here with us in mutuality, you are always welcome. Ms. Susan, would you like to make some announcements?
Good morning. A couple of things. First of all, we are having a St. Patrick's Day party. Once again, we're so grateful to Bob Jordan, who is going to probably, I would venture to say, gather some friends and play some music for us this will be Saturday, March 14th. I believe usually what we do is 7 to 10. Is that right, Bob? That'll be the time. We'll have a flyer up about it. We'll have email and flyer and all that good stuff by next week. But I wanted to mark your calendar now, March the 14th. It'll be a fun evening. They play Irish music. They slip in a little Scottish music, I think, and they also maybe from time to time slip in some old songs from like 60s, 70s, that kind of thing. So it's a fun time. And we have known nuns to dance at that party, so it's always a good one. We have our volunteer of the month is Eric First. Eric has done just about everything at this church. He's been a religious education teacher. He's served as president of the board. He can rock a chicken hat like nobody's business. And he has served as chair of building and grounds for a while now, and we are allowing him. He is stepping back a little bit to kind of take care of himself, and we are finding that I think there's going to be maybe 2 or 3 people stepping forward to coordinate building and grounds and help out with that. And if you are interested in maybe being one of those folks, talk to me or talk to Kelly Coffey, who's right down here. What else? Our giveaway the plate, which is every month we choose a local organization that kind of aligns with our values, and this month it is the League of Women Voters. They are doing they've always done a lot of wonderful action around voter registration, and this time they're also doing a lot around mobilization and education, particularly about the new closed primary system. I think there will be a gathering on the 16th of March. I want to say it's at the Broadmoor Library. We'll have more information coming in. Cedar Grove Library, thank you. So really right down the road from here at the Cedar Grove Library, about the new closed primary system. We want to support them, and so any money that you give that is not earmarked for pledge this month will go to the League of Women Voters. And we are preparing for our 75th anniversary celebration, which will be the weekend of April 11th and 12th. We will have we're going to have a gala the night of April 11th, and I believe it's going to be a murder mystery dinner, murder in Maui. So you'll be hearing more about character and costume possibilities, and it is a multi-generational event, so everybody's welcome. And what else, y'all? What am I forgetting?
Thank you for building
Yes, thank you to everybody that came for Building and Grounds. And if I start naming people, I may miss somebody that I know. I saw Kelly, I saw Tara, um, um, Tina, of course, was here. Dawn was here. Thank you. Thank you. Barbara Dager was here. Yeah. So, like I said, when I start naming people, anybody else that I'm leaving out? All right. Thank you. Yeah. What? Oh, Barbara was here. Barbara Jarrell was here. And straightened up reorganized and straightened up all the choir music. So that was a task. That was a Herculean undertaking. And the Emerson Award, thank you. Thank you. In fact, that's written right here, B&G thanks and Emerson. So as part of our anniversary service on April the 12th, we will be giving the Emerson Award. It's an award we give every year to an individual or organization from the local community that, again, aligns with our values, does the kind of work that we want to do and want to partner with in the community. We've had various recipients. The Philadelphia Center has gotten it. Dr. Pamela McPherson, who did a lot of work at the border, has gotten it. And so if there is an individual, so far we've only received, I believe, one nomination for Alea Kawalda, who is president of the Students for Justice in Palestine at LSUS. If you have an individual in the community that it is a non-member, we reach out for this. But if there's an individual in the wider community that you can think of that you would really like to see get this award, we ask that you kind of write up a little something, some of the reasons why, and turn it into any board member, Susan Yellett or Kelly, any board member will take that, or Reverend Barbara or me, just bring that to us if you have somebody in mind that you'd like to be considered. I think that is really all. Thank you.
So catch your breath. Relax into the seat that you're sitting in. And let us enter a spirit of elevating and contemplating things that matter. The Old English roots for the word worship. Something we forgot to mention is if anyone is interested, we're having a newcomer session following the service today. It's where we give you a little bit of information about the church and what membership means if you're remotely interested in that. It usually takes 30, 45 minutes maybe. If you can stay, we'd love to have you. I was thinking when we did the other announcements, what says spirituality and peace better than murder? For the murder mystery. So welcome to this place of possibility. This is a home of hope, love's hearth, a refuge for minds in search of unfolding truth, ever beautiful and ever strange. Here, compassion is our shelter, freedom is our protection from the storms of bigotry and hate. In this abode, may we find comfort and courage. Here, may our sight become vision to see the unseen, to glimpse the good that is yet to be. Would anyone like to help with the first part of our chalice lighting?
Love the fashion so much. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart. Together, with mind, hands, and heart, we care for the earth and for each other. Thank you.
In betwixt and between, we move in liminal spaces. Spaces that show shades of what can become, what can be. We light this chalice as a symbol of courage to move into the time of this and that, of not this and not that, with patience and faith and love and hope. That this time will pass like the sun that moves in between rising and setting, reminding us that beauty resounds in betwixt and in between. Would you please rise in body or spirit and say the unison affirmation with us? Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other. Our opening hymn is I am willing, I am open, and I am willing. Wish me luck on key changes in it.
I am open and I am willing.
mighty oak to hold my confusion. Give me a desert to hold my fears. Give me a sunset to hold my wonder. Give me an ocean to hold my tears. For I am old and I am willing for to be hopeless, which seems so strange. It dishonors those who come before us. So lift me up to the light of change.
Who's got a whole lot of hope these days? Like all the time, just feeling hopeful. All right, awesome. Well, I want y'all to help me tell the story today, because I would like to know there must be something or someone or some place that gives you hope. When, to quote a song we sing often, hope when hope is hard to find. I'm going to start with you back here.
Why do I have hope?
Yes.
I believe in love.
You believe in love. Yeah, absolutely. That is, yeah, Ava.
I see all the support that my school has and
That's wonderful. Ava says she sees all the support that her school gives to Pride people, and that's fantastic. Thank you. What else?
my dog.
Your dog.
My dog shows me that you can love no matter what.
Sally says her dog shows her that you can love no matter what. And dogs are great for that. Unconditional love. And just like back here, believing in love. Dogs absolutely do. Yes, Ava. The cat, say it again? The cat shelter, where do you volunteer on Saturdays? That's amazing. That's wonderful. And you get to see all the people who come there to help out. That's fantastic. It does give you hope when you see people kind of pitching in. I'll tell you something that always gives me hope, and sometimes I'm tired, it's the end of the day, but when I go to the Highland Blessing Dinner this week, a new volunteer thanked a newer volunteer for being there and helping out. And that ownership and gratitude, right there, that just did my heart so good. Yes, Kevin. Children.
Especially with their actions, working in shelters, working in independence.
Children and their actions, like Ava working in shelters and other things that our kids do, that they take upon themselves to do, is pretty wonderful.
I still believe in the arc of the moral universe.
And Reverend Barbara says she still believes in the arc of the moral universe and that it bends toward justice. Yeah. Unitarian minister Theodore Parker, and then later made the quote more famous by making it a little shorter and pithier, Dr. Martin Luther King. Yes, Susan Yellett.
Every once in a while, our court system makes a positive decision.
Every once in a while, our court system makes a positive decision. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Eric.
My friend in Venezuela told me when you have nothing else, you have hope.
He said his friend in Venezuela told him that when you have nothing else, you have hope. That is very true. You can hang on to that. I mean, there are heroic stories of people in all kinds of horrible situations holding on to hope. Something else that it gave me hope, I guess, but also joy is Alyssa Liu just skating like the medals don't matter, just out there, just giving it her all and having fun. And I thought, I want to play piano like Alyssa Liu, not the artistry, not the grace, I don't pretend that that's going to happen, but that just remembering there was joy, that there was a reason that when my mother said, okay, if you don't practice, you can just quit. And I didn't want to quit. There was something there, right? Because I didn't quit. So Alyssa Liu has made me want to remember that. Did you have something back here? I thought I saw your hand up, back in the back. Barbara. Oh, Barbara, yeah.
I'm hopeful because there's another No Kings March scheduled for March 28th. So there's a lot of people out there that are going to participate.
Yeah, Barbara is hopeful that because there's another No Kings March scheduled for March the 28th, and it's good to be with people. I hear different things. I've heard noon. We'll try to get the right information for you. I've heard several different versions of that. So there's a lot of things that we can look to and that we can remember. We can look to each other. You guys give me hope. I have 3 wonderful friends in 3 different places in the country that I talk to every Friday, and they give me hope. And I found out, I actually took my cat to the vet because she had suddenly become more affectionate, and it turns out she might actually like us after all these years. And so Smudge gives me hope. Anyway, thank you so much for helping, and we will send the kids to their class. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
I want to start this section of the service with a poem that is not credited on the screen. It's by Mark Nepo, and a friend of mine from California sent it to me this week. Everything is beautiful, and I'm so sad. This is how the heart makes a duet of wonder and grief. The light spraying through the lace of the fern is as delicate as the fibers of memory forming their web around the knot in my throat. The breeze makes the birds move from branch to branch as this ache makes me look for those I've lost in the next room, in the next song, in the laugh of the next stranger. In the very center, under it all, what we have that no one can take away and all that we've lost face each other. It's there that I'm adrift, feeling punctured by a holiness that exists inside everything. I'm so sad, and everything is beautiful. We all know about the deep instinct to respond to difficulty and stress with either fight or flight, with force or swift retreat, with decisive attack or prompt withdrawal. When faced with stress or difficulty or challenge, I'm seeking the courage to be open. I would have my vulnerability be a choice made from my courage rather than my fear. I would have my vulnerability be my strength. May my strength be not found as a hard shell of defense or a sharp weapon of attack. May my strength instead be found in an open stance of kindness and empathy, like a tree bending gracefully in the windstorm. May my strength be found in a willingness to join in the suffering of others, like a forest of trees together in a storm. May I choose to be receptive rather than protected, sharing rather than shielded. In this way, may I face my own suffering and the suffering of others with a nimble capacity to respond with compassion. In this way, may my vulnerability be an invitation for others to meet me in the open field with a yearning for understanding and for peace. I know this is a risk. I know I may be hurt. I know things may not go well. But still, I will seek the courage to set aside the closed fist, the stinging retort, the barbed judgment of others. I will seek within myself the strength to stand unguarded before the world, in the wind, open to difficulty, not because I cannot be any other way, but because I have chosen a better way. I seek the courage to be vulnerable. May I have others who can help me to be so courageous. May my example serve others as well as myself, and may my strength be our strength in sharing this life openly with others. Spirit of longing, heart, help me travel through the barren borderlands that separate me from others. Teach me to willingly explore my understanding of and relationship to those who frighten or threaten me. Grant me the courage to risk confidently my own comforts, that I may make others more comfortable. And when I am burdened by the isolating choices I have made, open my heart until I relax my defensiveness and become a calming presence. Grant me the vision to notice how each step we take moves us closer to the promised land, where all souls grow in hope and in the resilience of love. The title this morning is Horsefeathers. Now, the Marx movie was 2 words, so it's not the same. The feathers I want to consider first today are those of hope. The idea comes perhaps somewhat obviously from the Emily Dickinson poem. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. The next thought I had on the heels of hope as a thing with feathers was the Maya Angelou poem, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. Of course, in that poem, the bird is not singing out of hope exactly, but rather because it has a voice and is compelled to lift it against the bars that would contain it and reach beyond them. In contrast to all of that, the free bird effortlessly, or perhaps mindlessly, enjoys. Juxtaposed are the free, or if you will, the exempted elite, and the oppressed, confined and restricted. Even so, her bird sings of what it has not yet known, but hungers for. Now, parenthetically, I have a lyric that says you can't miss something you've never known. And so we must have known it somewhere. Whatever that feeling is that we long for, we must have known it somewhere. Angelou's poem was inspired by that of another poet, Paul Laurence Dunbar, that was titled Sympathy. And the third stanza of that verse begins, I know why the caged bird sings. In that poem, the bird has injured itself fighting against the bars, but still at the end lifts a plea to the heavens. There is reason that it can carry on because there is something somewhere that it believes has justice in mind and freedom. I don't know about you, but sometimes in the face of inexplicably cruel and destructive choices being made in places of great influence and power, I can begin to think that what's the point of hope that you talk about all the time? Sing about, advocate for. Sometimes hope begins to feel like something naive or impotent or too acquiescent a response to be a worthy one or effective in any worthwhile manner to address any of the things which would endeavor to usurp our power or freedoms or causes. And still, within me, there is some deep recognition that daring to hope is an incredibly powerful, vitally necessary thing. Something that is both courageous and bold. When it feels feeble to me, that is because I'm trying to make it fill a different role than the one it really has. Hope isn't the action and response. It's the strength of character that allows us to respond and to act, to seek out and engage in solutions. It can be the constant. Hope has been described as an eye that stays awake when all other senses sleep. An enduring force that can add or even provide meaning for one's life. This week we lost Reverend Jesse Jackson, and at the 1988 Democratic Convention, one of the things he said that has resonated through the decades is keep hope alive. Now, love is our doctrine. We use those words, other congregations don't. They talk about love, but they don't call it the doctrine. And the word doctrine means authoritative teachings. The pivotal center of all of our values, beliefs, and principles is love. In the Christian Testament, 1 Corinthians 13, the love chapter, the 7th verse says, love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. That's the New International Version. But if love is our center and love always hopes, then to keep love at our center, we have to hope too. True hope does not falter, even when the situation appears impossible or when one feels physically or emotionally weak. We can be drained, we can be sad, we can be overwhelmed and still have hope. So instead of bloodied wings from railing against our cages, real or feared or imagined, the feathers I envision belonging to hope are not those of a lightweight, fragile structure, thing at the mercy of the wind that can be pushed backwards by a wind current, but rather more like the solid-boned, substantial, and powerful strength of a Pegasus, the winged horse, who with the strike of a hoof could break stones open and bring forth from them a fountain, who was an active participant who supported the bravest and most successful defeater of monsters, who was born from that which reigned over earthquakes and storms, and who carried thunderbolts. I don't think of hope as fragile or fantastical like a unicorn, but powerful with speed and courage to rise above and soar even in the face of adversity. I've come to believe that hope is better understood as a profound and resilient inner strength rather than a weak or ineffective emotion. It's a force, fostering meaning in our own lives, enhancing mental health by reducing our anxiety and our depression, and drives resilience during adversity and serves as a motivation for change, a guidepost to healing, to refinding and establishing purpose if we lose it. Times before, I've spoken about all the things that I understood as a child to be trustworthy, that over time have been exposed for the flawed realities that they are. My neighborhood and neighbors, church, school, grown-ups, leaders of all sorts, and certainly the government. Once upon a time, in carefree fashion, I trusted all of these things to have my best interest at heart. I trusted them to care and to, at very least, try to make wise, ethical, compassion, and just decisions. I was a child. And more of those things had not been exposed yet to the degree that light has been shed in our lifetimes. Of course, that was not at all the experience other people had growing up. For some, the ground was never a safe place to stand. But even when we can't tell where the solid rock ends and quicksand begins, we have to find ways to keep on our path, making our journey, living the life that we are called to live, doing our best to be a positive influence in the world, a force for something good. We have to find ways to trust. Trust that our being matters, that we have the ability to make a difference, and that there are others willing to join force with us in many of those efforts. If you feel short on hope, I hope you will evaluate that aspect of yourself, determine what not having hope accomplishes, and then look at some variation of Pascal's wager. My father was a very devout man in his mainstream Christian tradition. He told me the reason he had faith was because when he was in the middle of World War II, he discovered Pascal's wager, which, using maybe terms that are uncomfortable for some of us, it was positing that if there is a God and you don't believe in them, you have something to lose. If there's not a God and you do believe him, you don't lose anything. So it was a more reasonable investment for him to believe in God. You don't have to call it that. But there's some correlation between hope and trust. Hope and trust are closely intertwined, often acting as a dynamic, mutually reinforcing duet. Trust often serves as the foundation for hope, while hope provides the motivation to build trust. In an Oxford academic article, Matthew Ratcliffe posits that the most fundamental forms of hope and trust are inextricably linked. Together they can be described, if you put them together, they can be described as faith. And faith is a life structure upon which other forms of hope and trust can be constructed. That's another one of those words we're not always comfortable with. Again, in the Christian Testament, Paul, in a letter to the Hebrews, said that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. The bird singing for the sun that has not risen. Like things to believe in that aren't seen, like the arc of the moral universe, or a conviction that there is a positive trajectory ultimately for human evolution, or an underlying or overarching ultimate good, or a source or ground for existence that has a creative rather than destructive tendency. that at worst it is balance, so that that back and forth balances out, and at best is perhaps benevolent. Every act participates in that swing, one direction or the other. Every thought, our frames that I was talking about before, our fears, and the calms that we contribute to one another or the way things are. I believe we are called to cultivate, tend, and hold fast to hope, to let those mighty feathers fly, carry our dreams into reality, as well as carry our prayers, dreams, and wishes and visions to the heavens and cover the earth. Before, I just very parenthetically, as we go to our closing hymn, want to mention a book that I mentioned, I think, last week, Don't Think of an Elephant. If you have not read it, or if it's been a long time, read it again, especially those of you who are young enough to still have strategic thinking for what lies ahead of you in your pack. It's by George Lakoff, and it identifies everything that we could do, or it was written 20 years ago, everything that could have been done at that point to make a difference, and still would make a difference if somebody could employ it. Our closing hymn is Just as Long as I Have Breath. If you will rise in body or spirit and sing that with us, please. Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I made my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dream and in my dark, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love. Please be seated. The choir can make its way up here if you'd like. Changes abound around us, within us, between us, in our communities, our neighborhoods, and our beloved faith communities. Change abounds. Changes abound. May we each find the balance point we need as we move through our ever-changing world. The balance between the old and the new, between the known and the unknown, between hope, trust, faith, wisdom, and mindfulness, between the familiar and the perhaps bold and risky possibilities that may be there waiting. Try to get out of the way.
There's no
but only time makes clear. Elements far and near in play, opening up the wounds so deep. Lessons come free, but never cheap. All that we have is now, and if we wait somehow, past all the noise and debris, we'll find the picture more complete. Under the blunders we repeat. Oh, I get weary and my spirit gets low. Sometimes I admit I let the light go. I've got to do something to fill my soul back up. Get the dark emptied out and find my way back to love. Let nobody take your cool. Compassion's the guiding rule, and earth the providing pool. We share. The future will stretch out wide. You'll see. I'm holding the possibility with care. Oh, I get weary and my spirit goes low. Sometimes I confess I let the light go. I'm here on a mission to fill my soul back up. Get the dark emptied out and find my way back to love. Nobody can take my place, lifting the human race over divisions, wasted time. I'll do all I can to be what mercy asks of me, and I'll carry hope for all I see. I'm holding possibility. Don't trip.
The flame is extinguished, but not our hope for the future, our courage in the face of any crisis, or the love we share with the world. Our eyes and minds turn now toward the ordinary, leaving this space made sacred by our presence. Take with you at least some seed of understanding and hope and courage and drop it into the confusion of the world. Nourish the seed that it might grow as a tree of life, giving shelter to the weary and hope to the despairing. Be yourself a branch of the tree of life. Amen. So be it. Blessed be. Namaste.
joy.